Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Yes, for the second week in a row, I am posting consistently. I've been working on this sample pack for so long, and as you will have seen last week, if you haven't, go check it out. I showed you the ins and outs of this sample pack. This is basically, if you're making this kind of music, if you're a fan of Revealed, of labels like this thing is just going to be so helpful for you. As you can see, there's literally everything you can need, including construction kits for that instant inspiration. What we're going to do today is something that I've been requested for the past, I would say, 5 months. Everybody wants me to do a from scratch series again. I told everybody in the Discord the same thing. I'm not doing it until my new sample pack is out, because I want to use this thing because it's going to make my job a lot easier. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make a full Big Room Techno song from scratch using my sounds from Big Room Techno Vol.3. And probably going to release this on Rave Room, actually. I know for a fact it's going to be good enough in the end, so we could probably stick it on Rave Room as an official release. But let's walk before we run. We're going to start with a blank project. As you can see, nothing there, nothing is loaded. This irritates me. Nothing is loaded, no master or anything, and we're just going to produce, right? We're just going to see what comes up. Now, maybe we're going to start with the vocal, right? I do like the acid rave one. I do like the acid rave one a lot. So maybe we start with this one, and then try and get a kick bass going, and then think about what our drop's going to be. I do this with all my songs. We start with the drop. If there's a vocal, get the vocal in there, and then after that we create the breakdown and think of what to do in the second drop. So the vocal is this:
techno, trance, electro, acid rave.
So I like this one because we can kind of separate it.
Techno, trance, techno, trance, techno, trance,
electro,
techno, trance, electro, acid rave, techno.
So we can kind of separate it like this to give our build up just something a little bit different, and then in the pre-drop we can go fully, play it out fully, basically.
No, trance, no,
techno,
techno, trance, electro, acid rave.
So because it says acid rave, I'm gonna have to have some acid in here. I just have to, and I'm thinking maybe just to use it as a fill. This could be cool as a fill.
Techno, trance, electro, acid rave. Techno, electro, acid rave, 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 electro.
Yeah, that could work. So with the vocal, what we're gonna do here is put it on a mixer track. And we're definitely going to want some Endless Smile here. I want to build this like a techno song. So I want to use like the Endless Smile to give that reverb effect and make it sound like feel super wet towards the drop.
Techno, trance, electro, acid rave, techno, trance, electro, acid rave, electro, acid rave, techno, trance, electro, acid rave, techno, acid rave, acid rave, acid rave.
So there we have the positioning a little bit better, just so it makes a little bit more sense as we're building this build up. So it's going to get super wet.
Trance, electro, acid rave, trance, acid rave, techno.
Now with this acid sound we can pitch it. However, I do not trust FL's pitching still. We're going to murder the sound when we pitch it. So I'm going to try and stick the D sharp here. So we go with the kick bass builder. Let's find a good kick, because I'm going to combine them. So I like this one a lot. And we're just going to take one. We're just going to take one and duplicate it across here. I'm going to try and keep everything on its own thing as well, so it's a little bit easy for you guys to understand.
Acid rave.
We're going to bring the volume down a bit so it matches everything else, and we're going to try and find a bass. So we're going to look for D sharp, see if this sounds good.
Acid rave.
Oh, it's big.
Acid rave.
That's huge. I want to see if there's any other options though, because if we do find a better option in a different key, I'm probably going to go down that route instead.
Acid rave.
I like this one. I do like this one a lot. But then our track will be in E. We could pitch it down. We could just pitch it down. I think we're not going to lose too much energy here.
Trance, electro, acid rave. Techno, trance, electro, acid rave.
That's also kind of filthy. But what we're going to do is try and build like a synth from it. So let's start with a build-up, I think. I don't have a crazy idea in my head right now for a drop synth. So that's why I'm going to go to the build-up first. Usually I've got like a track in my, like an idea in my head, and I'll just go straight to the drop. However, now I don't really have a concrete idea in my head. So I'm just going to build a build-up and see if anything sparks in that time. So we're going to look for drum snare here, snare fill. There's a sick one. Yeah, I love this. So what we're going to do is normalize it. Put it at its full power. And this is going to be our pre-drop snare fill.
Techno, trance, electro, acid rave. Acid rave. Acid rave.
With this acid sound, I'm gonna use the harsh effect because I want it to be super wide. Because these snares are going to be quite mono.
Acid rave.
See how the snares have their own kind of space now.
Acid rave. Acid rave.
We're going to want to reverb this as well with a bit of delay. But let's use this first part to build our build up. So it's going to be something like this. Just make sure it connects.
Techno, trance, electro.
Let's consolidate this. Look at me being fancy using all the new FL Studio 21 features.
Techno, trance.
I love this, by the way. This is so good.
Techno, trance, electro, acid rave. Techno, 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 trance, electro, acid rave. Techno, trance, electro, acid.
So I kind of like this. I'm thinking to do something like call and response. So like something like this. Who knows if it's going to sound good, but we can always try it out. Oh, did not mean to do that. Okay, so this is in G, F sharp, F, E, D sharp. Yeah, something like this might work.
Techno, trance, electro, acid rave.
It's kind of that like acidy sound as well, so it fits the theme.
Trance, electro, techno, trance, techno, trance, electro.
Yeah, that comes too soon.
Electro, acid rave.
Yeah, I kind of like that position because it felt a bit strange before, but this is where it's supposed to be as the pre-drop.
Acid rave, no.
So this is going to make a lot more sense.
Acid rave, techno, 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 trance, electro, acid rave.
Yeah, nice. Get it nice and crispy here. What we're going to do is make sure we cut these lows already, because I have lots of EQs here because the DST provides so much low end, unnecessary low end, that we have to keep cutting it. We're gonna go for a loose sidechain as well. I don't need to have this like super heavy. I'm gonna try different kicks, by the way. What I will say is, when you're producing music, if you're not completely in love with something, duplicate it, add a few different options. Don't just be like, okay, this one's good. Always just make sure there's not a better sound out there. That's how you're gonna get the best possible track. So I'm gonna go kicks only, and we're just gonna try some like this. Oh, we had a bit of a problem there. Here we go. See, I like how heavy that is. It's less clean. You really feel this one. Now, what you can do with these kicks is something I always do. I always try to boost the 100 Hz range to get that thump. Don't go too far. And at 5K, you're going to get that click. So we're also going to process this later. Right now, it's enough to get an idea going. So we're going to try and think of how to make this a drop, because right now it sounds okay. But how are we going to do this properly? Maybe we use Serum, maybe we check some other drop synths as well. I do really like this sound. Maybe we can use that at some point in the track. So we're going to have these play off each other. Yeah. Oh, that's high energy. I like that.
Techno, trance, electro, acid rave, techno, techno, trap, acid rave, techno, rave, acid rave, no, techno, trance, electro, acid rave.
Okay, so I've been messing around for a couple minutes. I just wanted to try and find a general idea, and I found this synth in the bank we have called Screech in Hell. So I'm thinking a little bit flatline style. Now this one's a really, really sick sound. But we are going to, sorry about that noise, we're going to have to process these slightly different because I have that main sound from before. But together they should sound pretty good. So we're going to do something like this. So let's try and build the general idea with only this sound. So we're going to have our acid shot there, which is going to be super, super reverbed, as I always do this. Now we can control how long it is. So we're going to have the acid play as soon as it drops. And we're going to leave it here. And this one we're going to maybe do this pattern. So this is again why it's important to control the release. Because we're going to want this to be quite snappy. And another thing we're going to need is a click. We need this to be really, really punchy here. So something like that. And then we go back to our synth. And we're going to do some pitch automations, I think, to keep this one interesting. So as always, we're going to create an automation clip here. And we're just going to get rid of all this because we're not actually set on the drop lead yet. But we're going to have something like this. And we're just going to like kind of increase the pitch in the second part. And the end, I actually want it to go down. Yeah, maybe it needs to pitch up there as well. Yeah, let's do this for now. Like the final result probably won't have this drop lead, but just so we can make a start, let's rock with it. Like it's not the worst thing so far. If we can get that other lead to work with it, it could be something fresh. This kick is definitely more commercial. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, as always, because I'll make changes based on what you say. So we're going to have the main synth and the screech synth on separate mixer settings. So screech, synth, and we're going to have them routed to the same one. So we're going to have a lead bus, which is where I'm going to add sidechain, because there's going to be things that both these leads need, and that's sidechain, filters, endless smile, things like that. So that's what I'm going to put on the lead bus. We're going to have a high chain as always. I like mine quite loose nowadays. Nice. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. And we're also going to copy the melody. I'm going to pitch it the same way. Now I know you can link it to the same pitch automation. I did this a lot in FL20. However, in FL21, for some reason, it just does not work. I link it to the same pitch automation, and for some reason it will only pitch one at a time, which is quite annoying, but this will do for now. Yeah, it's got something for sure. Now this acid sound needs delay. It needs delay and it needs reverb, because right now it's just a little bit kind of dead. So what we're going to do is try a Fruity Delay 3. And we're just going to have this like a big delay. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, 3 on the time's pretty nice. That's cool. Let's see how it works in the mix. Ooh. So what I'm going to do is have the delay only come on when the lead has stopped playing, when the acid has stopped playing. So what we're going to do is just do it the old-fashioned way and use an automation. So as you can see, the note plays quite long there. So what I'm going to do is have it off. Actually, we might automate it to come on like gradually. So like this. And then same again. This should make this section a lot cleaner. It's a lot tighter now, right? Yeah, sick, sick, sick. Yeah, I'm feeling this a bit more now.
Electro, acid rave. Acid rave.
Now we need something to change here. I'm gonna have like a cool fill maybe. So let's go to Synth Fills. So we're in D sharp. Is there any?
Acid rave.
Doesn't really work there. Thinking maybe to do something fresh here, so maybe have like a long reverse of the lead maybe, just to give this a little bit more rhythm. That's cool there. I think that could work. Maybe like a double kick as well, if we want to be really fancy. Or maybe even double it again. If we go to 1/4 step, we can half it again. Maybe even like this. Oh, that sounds pretty nice. Now let's make this lead huge, because right now it's good, has a lot of potential, but it's just not huge, right? Now that's interesting. Having the synth with a little bit less attack, it's more old school, I would say.
Acid rave.
That sounds a little bit more fresh, because, you know, the straight, it sounds a little bit too big room, whereas this is a little bit more fresh. We're also going to open the release here, and that will just give our track just more movement, right? We're just going to open it like this. And then we're going to put it back to the original amount. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, it's interesting, this one. It definitely has that club vibe. Now this, we're going to need a long sweep here, a long reverse into it, because it just comes out of nowhere. It's going to just be too confusing for people. So what I like to do is in Edison, take that first note, I'm going to reverb it, and then click Tools, Reverse. Sorry if that was a bit quick, but this is literally gold dust for me. So we're going to stick it above like that and just try and smooth this transition out. So it's actually in the key that the original is, so I've just pitched it down one. Yeah, that's nice. I'm just going to fade it out there when the original plays. Yeah, nice. Now what I would like to do here is reverb this. So what we're going to do is endless smile as always. Just going to automate it so it gets gradually more wet, and then we're going to kill it dead when the kicks come. Might give a cool effect. Might sound like ass. Or maybe like this. Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's pretty cool that. So yeah, let's go back to the lead. Let's keep processing that. I love the delay on this sound as well. Serum's delay is just amazing. See how it's just in the left headphone there? It just sounds so good. So that kind of starts releasing a bit too much for me. And now what we're going to do here is have another endless smile, but what I'm going to do is put it after the sidechain, because I don't want the sidechain to affect this one. I want this to just be like a big tail, so that these sounds, the rave synth and this lead, can kind of blend into each other a little bit more. Just going to insert one there like that. And we're just going to start it from here maybe, and it's going to get killed when it starts again. Now, is there a little drum, like a clap fill we can use here? Oh. Maybe we have the clap follow the same pattern of this rave synth. That'll make a lot more sense, I believe. What we do need to do is make it super wide though, so these two sounds can work together, the rave synth and the clap. So with the rave synth here, what we're going to do is put it more mono and maybe give it a little bit of punch. So I'm going to use the transient processor here. Clap's way too loud. We could maybe do some cool stuff with this as well. Use it as like a reverse into the kick again. Yeah, something like this. Like that maybe. then we'd probably want to get rid of that. So it kind of blends into each other. Interesting for sure. Make sure we still like that kick and the bass. Okay, that's interesting. I think we're going to do a switch up. We're going to do a switch up in drop 2 because that bass is huge. I think we're going to just... Yeah, it's so annoying with FL that I can't just like copy and drag this over. So I think, yeah, in drop 2 we're going to... In the second part of drop 1 we're going to have a switch up for sure because that sounds pretty nice. So we're going to stick with our original bass line for now. Now here we need something. We've had such a dramatic like switch up. We need some hi-hats. So beautiful. These are going to work so well. We're going to miss the first one though. Let's try some different options. Yeah, so good. And then we're not going to have hi-hats in the introduction of the second part because we're just going to kind of leave that heavy. Yeah, this is nice. But this drop, we can maybe switch it up a little bit. So I'm thinking for this second part, we're just going to do the melody full. Something like this. Yeah, let's have that like ×2. And yeah, this part of the process we are just like trying stuff, you know. We're not stuck to anything right now. We're just trying to be as creative as possible. See how it sounds though. Could work, could work. Now, maybe I'm thinking to bring this one back in. No, I kind of like it, you know. I kind of like it continuing there. Sounds pretty cool. So yeah, let's try and mix this before we call it a day. I think we've made a good start. Let's get this acid bass shot back in because it sounded good without it, so I'm expecting it to sound good with it. But what I need to do with this synth is make it mono. Because the screech synth, I'm going to stick the Haas on it as well, so it goes wide. Because we need these two to fit together, and it's quite tough to do that. We're going to have to give this a lot less attack as well, so it fits. If we can just... So 26 milliseconds of attack. So that's what we're going to try and copy here. Let's see. So we're going to use the same Camel Crusher. So just drag that across. But the EQ is going to be different. This sound has way more highs, way more high frequency. So I'm just going to give it less, so it's kind of more on a level playing field here. And I'm actually going to get rid of the delay because we don't need two delays going on at once. Also, we'll ditch the reverb there as well. pretty filth, man. It's pretty filth. Claps can be louder now. Now we're gonna need a synth fill. Do we use the same one? I'm thinking maybe something different. Maybe this one. Just need to copy that melody, it's the same. So good. The vibe is definitely there. So we're going to use some of these bass shots as well.
Techno, trance, electro, acid rave.
Not a big fan of that in this track. Maybe these ones will work a little bit more subtle. That's what we're looking for. Yeah. Use that second one. Just do that. Vibe wise, we're getting somewhere here. I'm trying to think what else we can add in there. As there's so many options. Like, will the acid sound work here? Just like subtly in the background if we're going to make it unique. Just bring the volume right down. Nah, but it might sound good in like the drop outro. So I'm thinking to do something like this as the outro for the drop. It's a very big room techno thing to do, and so it kind of fits with the vibe. Yeah, sick. So I think we've made some good progress here, man. I'm really happy with where it's going so far. Let's play one last time, see what we've got. Let's just stick a little bit of reverb on that acid shot. Because it needs to be a lot more wet. So we're going to add this reverb. Quite a long one. Something like this.
Techno.
What we're also going to do with the ear candy, this is a common theme here, but use the hash so we can put it in the sides of the mix so at least has its own space. Before we bounce, I am going to do the reverb of the leads because I totally forgot. So we're going to go to our lead bus and we're going to add the goat reverb. I'm just going to do this. I think rather than using a peak control, I'm just gonna like automate it manually, like I did with Flatline. So basically, starts low and it just increases in that gap, and it goes back. Has that like sucking effect? And this one we're just gonna like have it longer basically because this synth combines with it. first one. And then there we go. Now with this one, obviously the melody is a lot longer, so what we're going to do is just have it there basically. Let's put it in the build-up and let's listen to what it sounds like. I am actually kind of excited to hear what this sounds like now. Because before I wasn't really feeling it, but I can see a potential in this. But yeah, let me know what you're thinking about it. Let's get the reverb of the lead going up. Maybe we start it high and bring it down lower, and then stick on the lead bus. We're going to have a simple on, which is going to do the automations of the filter. I always do this now. I have the lows starting high, so it gets rid of lots of low end, and I do the opposite. So I'm letting not much high frequency through. And there we have it. Let's go.
Techno, trance, electro, acid rave, techno, 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 trance, electro, acid rave.
Okay, so I've got to do some quick mixing here because yeah, some things are really loud. My bad. Let's normalize the
techno, electro, acid rave, electro, acid rave.
So the reason I normalize everything is because I mix really loud. If you mix quiet and master afterwards, then just don't normalize stuff. But I like to have a loud mix, so that's why I do that.
Electro, acid rave.
Okay, so here it is. Let's see what we did in 40 minutes. Let's go.
Techno, trance, electro, acid rave, techno, 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 trance, electro, acid rave.
Now in this section is where I'll probably want to have the vocal again, because the vocal here is our theme. So this is where I want to have this looped.
Techno, trance, electro, acid rave, techno, trance, electro, acid rave, techno, trance.
Yeah, I love this switch, man. So there we have it, the very first Big Room Techno from scratch. This worked out pretty well in the end. I go into these usually with no idea in my head. I just stare at the blank screen and hope like samples inspire me. This one took a little bit to get going, but this pack provides so much inspiration. There's so many ways you can go with it, and with the vocal we already have our theme like literally laid out. So yeah, thanks for watching. As always, please let me know what your feedback on the track, because obviously what you say will impact the next episode. I'll change things to suit your needs and stuff, because I'm that kind of guy. Thanks for watching as always, and I will see you next time.